Hey, everybody, and welcome to our Semifinals 1 edition of AGT Time. Cody Patterson here
Along with Jay Bach, ready to talk some semifinals, moving towards the end of the season here. Pretty exciting to kind of watch it get whittled down into the very best of the best.
Yeah, after this week, Jay, only 2 weeks left. Semifinals
Only
2 and then a
weeks.
finals.
Man, and then you guys are going to miss us so much.
Yeah, but, when we're not here, we can't suck.
Well, not like we have anyhow.
That is true, yeah.
There was that one guy once, but
One guy, yeah.
we haven't heard any complaints since then.
That is true. We haven't heard any positive feedback either, so.
I suppose.
Yeah, speaking of which, if you do want to reach out to us, it's not too late to leave us any feedback. We're still here, still on Apple Podcasts, but you can reach out to us. AGT Time on Twitter. I'm on there, Cody L. Patterson. Jay's on there at One Man Bander. Email agtcast@gmail.com, and on Facebook, AGTcast.
I think, yeah, boy, there's a myriad of ways you can reach out to us. You could also, I believe, watch it's not us talking, but you could listen to us talk on YouTube as well, if that were a way that you wanted to engage. Or Facebook is a great way to sort of, make the group happen. So that's a great way to start a conversation with us too.
Yep, absolutely. And we would love any comments, feedback, questions, whatever you got. We only got 2 weeks left in this, so let's make it happen.
Okay. All right. Well, let's jump into our acts for tonight. There was only 11 acts here tonight.
Yeah, didn't we think there was going to be 12 and a wild card?
I thought there was going to be, these 11 plus one wild card, and then next week was going to be 10 more and 2 more wild cards. But I believe I had that wrong. There's going to be 1 wild card total between the 2 episodes, which at the end of the day, I'm pretty okay with that. They've already been eliminated. They should be eliminated. Yeah,
we don't need to bring three acts back. I think 1's plenty.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. So, who do you think that'll be then?
I don't know. It's we went through that last week, and I don't think. Let me kind of pull my document back up here.
Yeah, we discussed it.
We discussed it. I kind of ranked them.
My top choices were Barry Wham and Beer Khalsa. I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see Sophie Pecora or Joseph Allen, who are both golden buzzers who have been eliminated.
Yeah, I would like to see one of those 2 as well, but now that I'm looking at my list, I think I did hear a spoiler. I'm not for sure how verified it is, but it seemed like I'd read or heard that Lucas and Falco are coming back.
Lucas and Falco?
Yeah. That's
really?
Again, I don't know how verified it is. I don't know how reliable it is. It's just one article that I've read.
Boy, I could think of a lot of acts that I would pick before Lucas and Falco.
I agree. I mean, I enjoyed them, but I had 4 other acts ahead of them that I would rather see.
Interesting. Okay. Yep. There are also a lot of acts that I would pick way behind Lucas and Falco that have already been eliminated as well.
Yes,
so
yes.
that surprises me. Okay.
Yep.
Well then, let's jump into it here. First act of this episode, which I think we're calling episode, 15, 16?
I think it's 16.
What did I have here? 16. This might be 18. It might have been 18 and 19, honestly. 18 for the show and 19 for the review. But all right, well, first act of the night is the Undlovu Youth Choir. The South African youth choir, they sang Bring Me a Higher Love. Is that Whitney Houston? Is that right?
Higher Love. I have it down as Eric Clapton and Steve Winwood.
Oh. Okay. I don't remember. I know the song. It's a awfully enjoyable song. They are just so fun to watch and so fun to listen to. Big smiles. They had I don't know what color you'd call those outfits, like a sea foam blue or a turquoise kind of color on. It just really popped on stage. What did you think of Undlovu Youth Choir tonight?
I thought this was a lot of fun. I thought it was a great way to start off the night. Those kids, man, they love being on the show. They love America. They're so excited to be here. There's so much energy. I thought this was a great song to pick. It's one everybody knows. The soloist I thought was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah. I really don't have any complaints or advice. They do what they do very well. They're in sync and they sound wonderful. They look wonderful. I really don't have any complaints. It's down to, does America prefer a youth choir over the other acts at this point? It is what it feels like to me.
So we have another youth choir. We have the Detroit Youth Choir that's going to be in this next week.
Right.
People seem to like Undlovu Youth Choir. They're a lot of fun. As I've said, they're a lot of fun. They have a lot of energy. They sing some great songs. The soloists have been top notch. I think people are enjoying watching them.
Yeah, and again, no complaints. Judges' comments. Howie said, "You sound beautiful and you look beautiful." Gabrielle said, "You are the pride and joy of South Africa. I'm so incredibly proud." Julianne said, "What you do is global inclusion." Simon said, "The pressure is enormous. For me, this performance was in a way higher league than the other performances up to this point." And surprise, guest judge Sean. Maybe we should have mentioned it before we jumped into. Maybe we should have mentioned Sean. He said, "I don't know how you're not going to the finals." So he was very high praise from all the judges.
Yeah, what'd you think of Sean Hayes overall?
I didn't think he added anything to the show.
Are you familiar with Sean Hayes?
I never watched. Was it Will and Grace that he was on?
Yeah, he's Jack from Will and Grace.
Yeah, I never watched him. I never I've seen him around, but I don't know his stuff. I didn't think that he had particularly poignant comments or added anything that we really needed to hear.
I thought he added just a fresh perspective. Some of the comments he had later on, it wasn't the Julianne and Gabrielle, "Oh, everything feels good, you all are spectacular." I thought he just gave some new and interesting comments that we haven't heard from the judges before.
All right.
That's the only thing I got from him. But other than that, I'm not sure why he was on this show. He didn't come back for results.
Right.
So I don't know what the purpose was. Maybe they were trying to promote Will and Grace. They didn't really do that. So I'm just I don't understand why he was on here.
Yeah, he didn't have anything to promote that I'm aware of. He, was just an extra voice, which 5 judges, that's a lot of comments trying to get each of them to say something unique from the others.
So I tried to watch that to see if maybe they were spending more time on comments. They spent a little bit extra time, but let's see. The average for comments was up compared to last week.
Okay.
But only about 9 seconds difference. So if you add in the extra judge, I think they maybe talked for 20 or 30 seconds. So it didn't really add that much extra time to the comments.
That's interesting. It was 1 fewer acts total as well. It was 11 acts instead of 12. So
true.
That's not where they made up their time, is in judges' comments, or at least not the bulk of it.
Yeah, I didn't do a total on the time. I could probably do that while we're talking and kind of see what the total time for comments was, see how much of a difference there was.
Yeah, not a huge difference, I guess.
Yep. So back to Higher Love real quick. We were both kind of right. It is a Steve Winwood song, and Whitney Houston did cover it in 1990.
Okay, all right.
So there you go.
Well, that would have hit right in my sweet spot of listening to pop music. So, very good. All right. No, I thought that they were marvelous. I would really be happy to see them go through to another to the final round from here.
Agreed. I would love to see them again.
All right, second act of the night. We've got continuing her roller coaster ride of season 14 America's Got Talent. It's Ansley Burns, who was put through to the judges' rounds and eliminated and brought back and eliminated and brought back again. So she's been all over the map. She's singing for us "Cry Pretty" by Carrie Underwood. She's the little country singer, and she puts her little country spin on it, as fully expected. What did you think of Ansley Burns?
So I wasn't terribly impressed by this. I'm not familiar with the song. I don't listen to a whole lot of Carrie Underwood. I don't listen to a whole lot of modern country. I'm a big 80s and 90s country type of guy. But I just don't think she put a whole lot into this. She had a mistake. It looked like she almost either forgot the words or something happened where she had a little. I just put down a little whoops.
I didn't make a note of that, but this is at this level you have to be perfect.
Yes.
We're looking for perfection, and anything short of that is going to feel unprepared, amateurish. So yeah, you got to be clean. I cannot imagine how she could be any cuter. She's just so adorable. But like you, I wasn't particularly taken with the performance myself.
Right, and I was wondering, why did they also put her in a swamp? She's like standing up in the middle of a bunch of weeds.
I thought maybe she was in a wheat field.
Okay, I didn't catch that.
I don't know. It was not interesting staging, I guess.
Yeah, it's just this was one of the lower. I didn't feel this was a great night, and I thought she was even way down on the list of good talent tonight.
Yeah. It feels like an uphill battle for her. Definitely going into results on the next episode. So, judges' comments. Howie, he agrees with me. There's no denying you're adorable. That song was too big for you. Gabrielle said, I want to root for you. Julianne, you are a ray of sunshine in the sometimes gloomy world. But the song may have overpowered you.
It kills me.
Simon said you were kind of lost in the wheat, but you are gutsy and adorable. Sean said you are amazing, and he found her comparable to Karen Carpenter.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting comment.
I did too. Carpenter's, it's that buttery smooth, just really easy listening. I wouldn't say that this song was particularly easy listening, but I could imagine her leaning that direction with a song and sort of having that sort of sound to her.
She does have a powerful voice. She does have a lot of range, but
yeah,
this just didn't do anything for me tonight.
Yeah. All right. Third act of the night. We are ramping up the danger. We've got the Missaudi brothers. Their intro package, they say, yeah, we're going more dangerous. So they... You know what? In their first three acts, performances, they've given like 2 or 3 sets. It's kind of felt like this time they went 4 different sets, I guess, that we got to see. So
okay.
Again, these are the hand balancing brothers, circus performers kind of thing. And I kind of wrote down sort of what the 4 sets were, but what'd you think of Missaudi brothers first off?
Well, first off, I thought that they kept calling this a Magic Mike performance.
Okay.
Because they bring Julianne up on stage, and I thought things got a little too risque.
Oh, really?
For family Thursday night or Tuesday night television, but that's just me. That's just the old curmudgeon in me.
Okay, all right. I didn't find the move particularly sexy or particularly off-putting with its sexiness, but so what they did, he was on all fours and she sort of straddled him facing backwards, and they had her like lock her feet under his thighs and got her to lean back, and he then picked his feet up off the ground, so they were both horizontal and supported only by his hands. really cool move. Do you think that's something that they practiced or that she knew was going to happen? Or do you think that it was like, we're just going to make it happen and we'll see what, it's going to work out?
I think it was very impromptu. I think they just decided they knew they were going to do it, but I do not think they practiced it with her.
Yeah, I don't think that Julianne knew that was going to happen. It was pretty cool. It was really, really cool. So.
It was kind of funny where Sean thought he was going up there too.
Maybe he just wanted to go up there. I don't know, but
yeah.
There was a little bit of confusion because one of them went to Gabrielle as well, and they like Sean and Julianne, and ultimately it was only Julianne that went up there. So it was kind of weird how that went down. It was pretty cool. The second set that they did, two of the brothers were standing with one arm raised. The third brother did a handstand, like completely inverted from on top of their hands, sort of making like a shape. But that one doing the upside down handstand is 7-8 feet up in the air there, so that's pretty cool. Then they moved to what'd they do? Oh yeah, okay. So those first two were done right up by the judges' table. Now they move up to the stage, and here we have the bottom brother. He's like in a squat position. The second brother stands on his thighs. The third brother then does a one-arm handstand on the second brother's forehead. So again, stacking kind of vertically there. And then this last one, I thought this was a heck of a move, something I'd never seen before. One brother has got some kind of contraption that he inserts into the floor, into some machine in the floor. He grabs the handles. The second brother lays right on his back, and he locks his hands around the first brother's waist, with like his head off to the side. And then the third brother lays on top of the second brother's back, locks his hands around the second brother's waist, and they sort of, stiffen their bodies out from there. And this machine pumps them up like 10 feet in the air. So the first brother's at like a 45-degree angle from the floor. Second brother would be like, 70 degrees. And the third brother's like vertical at 90 degrees, holding onto the next one's waist, holding onto this contraption that's pumping them up in the air. So it was a really cool effect. I had to pause to like see what was going on to kind of comprehend how they had themselves leafed together. What'd you think of these moves? Which one was your favorite?
My favorite was the last one where they're doing the hand balancing on the little contraption and they got raised up in the air.
Okay.
I particularly like the camera angle that they had from the floor, where they were just basically looking directly into the camera, and then the contraption just raised them up about 8-10 feet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So that was probably my favorite one of the night, of the performance.
Yeah. What'd you think of the performance overall?
I thought the performance overall, it didn't feel like it was more dangerous. They did add the additional trick or two, like you mentioned, but I didn't feel like it was more dangerous. The judges made comments that they felt it was more dangerous. I didn't feel it was more dangerous at all.
Yeah, and more spectacular and more dangerous aren't always the same thing. And I don't know that they were more spectacular than previous acts, but it could have been more dangerous, right? There might be more potential for things to go wrong.
Yeah.
Or, they're sort of inching their toes closer to the edge, but they're still on solid footing, kind of an interesting thought of, is it more dangerous? Does it matter if it's more dangerous? What it really needs, what Simon's asking for when he asks for more danger is more spectacular. It doesn't have to be more dangerous.
Yeah, they mentioned that they did the same trick where one of the brothers, he said he broke his foot. I don't know if he actually did fully break it, but they said they did that same trick, and then it just didn't feel like it was. I felt like when they did it in practice, it was more of just an accident that happened, and he didn't break it because it was dangerous. Right. I felt like they just stepped wrong and slipped off the platform.
Yeah. Well, all that to say, I think the judges were pretty high praise here. Simon it gave himself some pretty high praise. He said, "I think my advice was exactly what you needed."
Of course.
Julianne said, "Thank you for bringing me up with you. It was fantastic. It was so dangerous and so crazy." Gabrielle said, "Start to finish, you wowed us. Your smiles are magic." Howie...
Magic Miss Audi.
I had trouble understanding what Howie was saying. Like, he was kind of stumbling over himself, but he was saying you guys looked kind of like Wi-Fi bars and you should get a contract with the mobile phone carrier.
Yes. Yeah, he did say traditionally if you try something and you break your leg, it's a sign to not do it.
Yeah. And then Sean said, "Here in person right in front of me, everything is bigger." So I love them. I think that they're very, very good at what they do. They're terribly likable. I don't think that you have to be more dangerous. I don't think that you have to do anything that you're not comfortable with. Everything that they've done up to this point has been great. So keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean they are exciting. I would like to see some more danger. I don't feel that this was it.
All right.
Okay, so real quick before we move on.
Yes, please.
I have some totals.
Okay.
So in quarterfinals 3, which is when I started tracking the individual intros, performance, and reactions. So the total reaction time, this seems really weird. The total reaction time in quarterfinals 3 was 25 minutes and 42 seconds.
Okay.
It seems like a lot of time, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah.
But when you look at an hour and a half show, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It'd be a third
90 minutes of production, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
It'd be a third of the time. Semifinals 1, this episode from this week, 23 minutes and 4 seconds.
Less.
But yeah, like you said, we had one less act.
Okay.
So that would be basically the 2 minutes there. So it came out to about the same.
About the same per act.
Yeah.
So were the intro packages longer? They had to spend more time on the intro packages, right?
Let's see. And I didn't get a couple of the intros. I didn't get Indlovu's or Greg Morton's.
Okay.
But 122 compared to 113. So
yeah, I felt like the intro packages were maybe better produced, or spent a little bit more time on them. Are the acts themselves longer as well?
243 to 234. So yes.
Okay. So they're getting a little bit longer.
Yeah, and then in finals we'll have 10 acts, so it should be even longer at that point.
Right. Okay. Well, very good. Good. We ready to jump to the fourth act of the night?
Do we have to?
No.
Oh.
We can skip him.
No. Let's talk about Tyler Butler Figueroa.
All right. Tyler Butler Figueroa. He is Simon's golden buzzer. What are you, 10-year-old violin player? The comment that I made, like, he's got this really big, engaging smile. He's really cute. But we just a couple acts ago watched the Undlovu Youth Choir, and they've got even bigger smiles. And like I felt like he was just a step below them in their like engaging smile category.
America's Got Smiles, Jay.
America's Got Smiles. So he played. Oh, I didn't get it written down here. What was his song?
It was a song. I didn't catch the song.
So you were not taken with Tyler Butler Figueroa, huh?
Oh, no. So first off, Terry tells us that cancer survivors were going to be playing with him. Okay. So he comes out. He's walking down the aisle playing his violin. We get the cancer survivors, which that's great that they're cancer survivors. They've overcome cancer. That's fantastic. But they're holding light sticks on either side of him while he walks down. They were not. I thought we were going to get a group of cancer survivors up there playing instruments with him.
Yeah, maybe performing with him might be a little bit closer of a word.
Yes. That's what I got from what Terry was saying, is that they would be up on stage performing, playing instruments, doing something with him during his performance, not holding light sticks.
Yeah. America's Got Feels.
Yeah.
They're definitely going for the feels.
The other thing was the melody. He was playing the melody, and you've mentioned that before.
Yep.
That he only plays the melody. Well, they the song had vocals, he was playing exactly what the vocals were singing.
Right.
And I even heard the vocals over his playing.
Yeah, so some of the mixing was a little troublesome. Yeah, I didn't feel like he really killed it tonight. Like he was uncomfortable coming down the aisle. When he got on stage, like he kind of had a new life in him, but then it still wasn't fantastic. We were just reminded of Brian King Joseph in the results episode. Was that last week? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
We've had Nothing But Strings. We've had like some more talented violin players that I would take over Tyler Butler Figueroa any day.
Right. And I'm sure he's going to be a fantastic violin player. I don't think he's there yet.
Right. He's very good for his age.
But we wanted you to be very good.
Right.
Yes.
We want you to be very good.
There were also times it sounded like he was out of tune. The times that I could hear him play, it sounded like he was out of tune.
Yeah. It just wasn't perfect. He looks good. Again, cute as can be. To somebody who's not a musician or not a violin player, you look at that and say, man, he's good. He played those notes right along with the vocals. But maybe I'm a little more discerning, or I try to be a little more discerning about, picking apart how good he is or how talented he might be. And I just wasn't feeling it with that performance. I agree with you there.
Yep.
Judges' comments. We didn't get anything from Howie. Gabrielle said, what you've done for this audience, this has been truly magical. Julianne said, your story is incredible. Your performance went above and beyond. Simon said, Tyler? That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
your story's unbelievable, but your musicianship maybe was lacking. What a great showman you are, too.
I don't think his musicianship was. I don't think he said his musicianship was lacking.
Okay.
He said your story is unbelievable. Now I want to talk about your musicianship. He said, "What a brilliant musician showman you are. You put on a performance which defies the words joy and talent."
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't take it all down. I was getting some cutting up in my my new antenna.
Yeah. And Sean was fascinated that he could jump up and down and play.
Okay. So Simon didn't critique his musicianship. He was saying, you're great the way you are, huh?
Right. He's saying, in addition to your story, you are also a great musician.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I got the your musicianship. I was like, okay, lean into him. There we go.
No, but it was, now I want to talk about it. And
all right.
In addition to your story being unbelievable, and I think he multiple times in the night he commented, hey, your story is unbelievable. Now I want to talk about your talent.
Right. Yeah, interesting. It is Simon's golden buzzer, so he certainly has his reason to praise him.
A little bias there.
Sure, certainly. Yeah. All right. Well, our next act of the night was surprisingly still in the performance here. We've got Greg Morton, our comedic impressionist.
Yeah.
Boy, did you get a list of all the things that he...
I think I got most of them.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Give me your rundown here.
Well, first, I want to talk about his intro real quick. So, okay. In his intro, he's on a school bus, talked about being bullied as a kid and being picked on, and no one would talk to him. And did you notice like what the kids were saying when he got on the bus?
Was it just all the like classic "the seat's taken, you can't sit here" kind of stuff?
Right. Yeah. It made me think of Forrest Gump.
Oh,
you can't sit here. Seats taken.
Okay.
So, then he would talk about, hey, that's where he started doing the voices because, who's going to beat up the funny kid?
Right. Yeah.
So that's when he started doing his
defense
voices.
mechanism. Sure.
Yeah. But the whole Forrest Gump thing kind of really stuck out at me of, hey, seats taken. So here are the list of voices that I was able to get, and I may have missed one or two.
Okay.
But he started off with Fred Flintstone, then he goes into Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd, He-Man,
Okay.
which seemed really
Was
random.
that I have the power?
That's I have the power.
All right.
Then there was a Hanna-Barbera, and I think it was I couldn't tell which one it was, but
There's Yogi Bear, right?
Was it Yogi Bear? Was it smarter than it wasn't smarter than the average bear. It was something else. It was or was it smarter than the average bear?
Smarter than the average something. I thought it was Yogi Bear.
Okay. So then Scooby-Doo and Shaggy.
Yep.
The Jetsons, Spacely.
Mr. Spacely.
Yep. Bullwinkle, Marge and Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, Mickey Mouse, and Goofy, which they didn't come out and rightly say because apparently there's copyright issues with that, which we'll talk more about later.
Yeah, curious. Uh-huh.
And then finished off with Bobby.
And a Porky the Pig, the That's All, folks.
Yep. So I'm glad he stuck with somewhat of a theme. I mean, cartoon characters.
Okay.
But as Simon mentioned, and I kind of thought this the same, it was all over the place. There was no story. It was just him just rattling, and it was quoting things. It was just him just rattling off quotes of cartoon characters.
He was supposed to get a writer, wasn't he?
Yes.
And did he?
I think he did. It must have been Hanna-Barbera and Mel Blanc and whoever does the Simpsons, and so
sure, yeah.
So if he got them as writers, he did pretty well for himself. I think Mel Blanc's been dead for many years, but
boy,
yeah, I think you're right. He was supposed to get someone to kind of help him flush this out, tell a story. He's got the voices. That's not the issue. He knows how to do the voices.
Yeah.
I need more from this now.
Yeah, and he nails them, and he does them so fast. Like I do smile the whole way through. I'm entertained, but like at the end of it, if I didn't have these all written down, I don't know that I could tell you more than 2 or 3 voices that he did. Like, it's just so random.
There's so many of them.
So random, yeah. So yeah, having a through line, having a theme, having something a little more concrete. Get a writer, man, and don't feel bad about it. It will pay you in spades.
Yes, and hopefully he'll get one soon because Julianne seems to think that every animator should hire him.
Well, yeah, animators come with writers, right?
Yes.
So maybe that's exactly what he needs. Yeah, she said, every animator would hire you. You can do all the voices, and you belong, which was, I think, sort of a reference back to his intro package where he didn't feel like he belongs. Simon said, I have been a fan until tonight. I thought it was a mess. I don't know what was more of a mess this time than any other performance of his.
Yeah, every performance he's done has been very random, but at the beginning it was funny because we'd never heard anything like it before. But as the levels have gone on, he's gone from one level to another. You've got to flesh this out. You've got to make it more cohesive.
Yeah, the story or the show continues, but your performance is pretty plateaued if you're not gonna make any adjustments. Howie said, I think you nailed it, and I loved it when you did my voice. So Howie, of course, was the voice of Bobby in Bobby's World. Did you ever watch that cartoon?
I did. Yeah, I watched that.
All right.
I probably haven't seen it in 25 years, but I remember watching it when it was on TV.
The only image that I have in my brain is him like riding his big wheel through the hallway, maybe knocking something over. Like that's all that I remember, and then the voice. But that's what I remember from that show. Sean said, I don't know how you're not going to work for the rest of your life. So Sean thinks he's got work ahead of him too.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Same critiques that we always give. Get a writer, tell a story, give us some through line.
Yeah, it would be better if he took some of these. I mean, because the Star Wars thing, it was kind of a story. I mean, he did pretty much all the Star Wars movies in just a couple of minutes with all the different voices of Star Wars.
Was it chronological, or was there any...
I don't remember if it was chronological. I don't know if he went through 4, 5, 6 He definitely didn't go back to 1, 2, 3. He stayed in the 4, 5, 6 era.
Okay.
But I don't remember if it was exactly chronological. But if he did something similar to that, if he'd kind of stayed with one, maybe if he did the Hanna-Barbera characters or all of the Flintstone characters and then told, just like a 2 or 3 minute story with those characters, that would have been better.
Give us a Simpsons episode, or
Yes.
Homer walks into the bar and we've got Moe and Barney, and you could do better. You really can. So,
now, what about this Mickey Mouse and Goofy copyright comment?
I don't know. Does it matter that he didn't say their names, because he didn't say the names of any of the other ones, did he?
No, he didn't. But I don't remember. I think, when he would say some of these names, he'd say like Homer and Marge, and I don't remember if he actually said Bugs and Daffy. So I don't know why the comment about the Disney copyright. We've commented all season long about AGT doing Disney songs. I mean, I wrote it down, but one singer did "How Far I'll Go."
Yeah,
so they did a Moana song.
Every song is going to require licensing. Every poem is going to require licensing. So, I'm not real up on my copyright law, but it's something that you gotta work through. So I don't know what is and isn't allowed for them to perform or to imitate or parody, maybe.
Are voices different than songs?
I don't know. Maybe it was the lines that he was able to say. He wasn't allowed to say, gorge or oh boy.
Okay.
He was stuck with just like making them say other things besides their major catchphrase. I don't know.
Okay.
All conjecture at this point, but
Well, now that you've done those two things, now we're going to get flagged on our stuff. So.
Okay. All right. Bring it on.
So that's all I've got for Greg Morton, unless you have anything else.
No. I'm not expecting to see him in the finals.
Okay, we'll take a look here in a little bit.
All right. Ending up the first half, 6. Well, I guess right in the middle of the episode it is. It's Cody Lee. This is Gabrielle's golden buzzer, the blind autistic singer piano player. What did you think of Cody Lee's intro package tonight?
I thought it was interesting. They brought in his, I think it was his younger brother and sister.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know their age relation. I would guess younger.
Okay, I think I thought that was interesting to kind of tell the story from their perspective. Talking about always wanting to play the piano, and that's just kind of his place. And I think a lot of the intro package took place in a studio, and they talked about some of the major artists that have performed in that studio, and I didn't write down the names, but they talked about some big people have played this piano, and one day I think he's going to do it. And I thought it was real interesting. One comment I wrote down is that I think his sister said that he didn't like being touched because of the autism, and it seemed like it was a very awkward statement for her to make. She seemed like it was awkward when she said it. She felt awkward when she said it.
Yeah. And anytime you're talking about a disability, especially when you're not familiar with it, like, you want to try and choose your words carefully and not say something that's offensive or whatever it is. But I do feel like the autism isn't maybe the best choice of words, but because of his neurological disabilities, or that's something that's so hard to understand, or what
I mean, we're nicking pits a little bit here, but our picks we're
picking nits.
What are we picking nits? We're picking nits a little bit here, but we could she could just said that he just doesn't like to be touched,
right?
I mean, we all know that we all know he has autism, we all know that he's blind, and they could just say he just doesn't like to be touched.
Right. We can fill in the gaps ourselves.
We can fill in the gaps. That's right. They say we don't see him having a disability. He's living his dream. It's same thing with Tyler Butler Figueroa's package where his brother Adam kind of just gave his story.
Yep.
Just a little bit different perspective.
Yep. No, I thought the intro package was fine. What did you think of his song and his song choice?
Well, he played "You Are the Reason" by Colum Scott, and I'm not familiar with the song, but from the performance that he did, I think he nailed it. I think he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I think he's clearly one of the most likely to. He's going to be top 5, if not top 1. I think he's front runner coming out of the gate for winner of the season. This is one of those acts where if I had been watching this before we recorded these, when I would just fast forward through the intro packages, here's a random CD that I picked up from the library, put it in and be like, it's fine. He's it has the appropriate amount of soul and emotion in his songs. It's fine. But I don't know that I would really enjoy him. I don't know that it's something that would, stand out to me, that I would have tears in my eyes, that I'd be giving a standing ovation for. But knowing the full story, knowing more about him, it does make his performance a little more special. So I don't know. I guess that's just sort of a thought. Like, his musicianship isn't so off the charts that it's something that I feel it's particularly noteworthy on its own.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. I kind of feel a little bit of the opposite. I just listening to him, and I haven't done this yet, and I probably should have done it by now, just closing my eyes and just listening to him sing and play. Yeah. But also knowing his story, it kind of gives him a few extra points.
Absolutely, it does.
And we can't help but know the story.
Right.
But you're right. I hear what you're saying, that if he were just a guy that we didn't know the story, we picked up a CD or we saw him on TV without knowing the story.
If I stumbled into a coffee shop that he was playing, I would feel like, he's, not a... he hits the right notes on the piano, but he is not a particularly intricate piano player. And his, appropriately soulful in his singing style is, all I have to say about it. But, I guess I've said my piece. I can jump to Judge's comments.
Yeah, I enjoy listening to him, but I'm like, I'm not like Gabrielle, where she's like, you're changing the world. I don't know if he's really changing the world, but I think he's doing a fantastic job at singing and playing the piano.
He's fine. You make the world a better place, she said. Yeah. Simon said, your story is unbelievable, but your talent.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Yeah. Every time you put your twist on it, it makes you one of the most special, talented contestants. Sean said, I have tears in my eyes. Howie said, one of America's favorite talents is magic. And Cody, you are magic. So
thanks. Appreciate that.
So Howie put a little twist on that magic idea. But, don't mess up. You'll be fine. He's clearly a front runner for the season.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. Now, I felt like we took a pretty hard dip in the quality of the performances with number 7, Jackie Fabulous.
Oh no!
What did you think of Jackie?
I liked her intro package again. I think they've done excellent intro packages.
Her intro package is great. Yes.
Yeah, they did the dating, quick dating, whatever it's called.
Last time was dating. This time was in the courtroom, right?
Courtroom, right.
Okay.
So, but I was trying to think of what type of dating it was last time.
Speed dating.
Speed dating, thank you. Yeah, this time it was a courtroom where she's pleading her case. I'm not for sure at the end if being guilty is a good thing or if being not. They didn't really rule.
No, they ruled her fabulous.
Oh, I missed that. I missed that.
Fabulous is what they ruled her. Not innocent or guilty. Fabulous.
I totally missed that, Jay. I'm glad you explained that.
See, her
me.
last name is Fabulous. It was a little play on her name. That's
okay. Because last I saw was we ruled Jackie, and then
Fabulous.
it was like the gavel. Oh,
right.
Okay, I totally missed it. Went right over my head.
Oh
Shoot.
man.
Okay. I know. Because I love Jackie Fabulous. I think she's one of my favorite. I love the comedians. I think her and Ryan Niemiller are doing a fantastic job. I enjoyed this performance. You're right. It wasn't as good as the last one. I still liked it. She still kind of kept with a theme, and I didn't write down what the theme was. But
it was like she talked about
like being a fat actor, fat actress.
Right. She said, "I'm an actor. Apparently,
size. Yeah.
I'm a fat actor." Yeah.
Yes.
She lost a couple pounds, and she was dating this fat guy, and she said, "I can't date a fat guy. I've lost weight." And he said, "But I pay for everything, and I love you, and I take care of you." She said, "I talk crazy when I'm hungry." So that was the joke that I got written down. I didn't feel... I don't know. I feel like her punchlines are kind of just throwaways at the end. They just don't land with me very well.
Yeah, this one just wasn't as strong. I still enjoy Jackie Fabulous. I think she's going to have a good comedian career. She's going to be good on BET and Comedy Central and those type of things. She'll probably be good at the traveling stand up, kind of like Preacher's doing these days.
Yeah.
She's got a stick, not a stick. She's got topics she talks about. Howie mentioned that he can't tell the difference between what she wrote and what's actually real in her life, and I think that's a good point. I mean, she talks about things that apply directly to herself. It doesn't sound like something she's made up. That could have happened in her real life. It could not have. It's hard to tell, and I think that's what kind of makes it a little more real.
Right. The authenticity is really what she has going for her. She does not feel fake on the stage. And so I do appreciate that. Gabrielle said, "Every time you take the stage, you're funny, fabulous, and make us think." Julianne said, "You have an energy and essence, and you should have high standards." Simon said, "This is the moment we see people at the top of the game, and you didn't bring it tonight. The intro package was better than the act," which I tend to agree with that. And then Sean said, "You have something many others don't, and you're so likable." So, you know what? If you have a chance to go back and watch the judges' comments, I thought that they looked bored as they were giving their comments. Like they were just sort of like, ho hum, like I'm going to say the words that, I wrote down some thoughts, and that's all I had to say about it. I didn't particularly care for the act tonight. I didn't think she killed it. I didn't think the judges loved it. It was, funny and authentic, but not fabulous.
Not fabulous. Wow. So you rule her not fabulous.
Right.
I still rule her fabulous. It just wasn't as good. This was kind of a weak night anyway. It felt like it was a weeknight, not a weeknight, but a night that was not very strong. A night that was not very strong. If she were to go up against the group that's next week, which is much stronger, she would have a much tougher time. I think with this group, it's a little bit easier, especially when you have who have we talked about already? When you have, I got to get back up.
Cody Lee, we've got Greg Morton, Tyler Butler, Figueroa, Massaudi Brothers,
Ainsley Burns,
Zundalovu Youth Choir.
Yeah, I guess so. If you kind of look at this group that we've already talked about, I thought she was better than Ainsley. I thought she was better than Tyler, and I thought she was better than Greg Morton.
Okay, all right. So right in the middle.
Yep.
Not her best performance, I didn't think, and we'll see if we get another chance at seeing her material.
Yep.
Next act of the night, though, is Robert Finley. This is another blind singer, not autistic, but Robert Finley is an old gentleman from where was he from? Alabama? No, Louisiana. From way down south. Yeah. This time he's going to play his guitar. So taking a little step out from just the singing. What did you think of? What did you think of his song? First of all,
I liked the song. I liked that he played his guitar. He had a full band. He had his backup singers. His daughter was back again as a backup singer. I thought this was the whole package.
I enjoyed this more than I've enjoyed his other songs. I agree with that. I was watching him play his guitar, and
okay, here we go.
I think they had his volume way down and the guy that was playing in the background way up. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. Yes,
but he looked good doing it. So
yes, I agree. I was kind of watching his strumming is what he was doing.
Yeah,
it's because he didn't have a pick,
right,
and he was strumming with his fingers.
But the guitar that we heard was definitely picked.
Kind of, yes. It didn't look like I could hear some strumming. Of course, I was wearing my headphones.
Okay.
So I hear probably a little bit more than most people do.
Sure.
So I could hear strumming, but yes, it was very low. It didn't seem like the strumming was on the same beat. His strumming was on the same beat as the strumming that was coming through my ears.
Right. Yeah.
I was trying to pay, and the camera would not stay still long enough for me to really fully examine it.
Do you think it's possible they did that on purpose?
Moved the camera around?
Yeah, made it hard to see that he wasn't actually playing his guitar.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
right.
absolutely. Yeah.
We got to the bottom of this.
Yeah, because I was trying to focus to see, okay, I was trying to count the beats. Okay, is it going along? And the camera was all over the place. There were crane shots. There was the backstage or stage rear, whatever it's called, where the camera's behind them. There's all of that. But I hate to say this. I love Robert Finley. I'm glad he brought out his guitar. I don't think he was playing.
Yeah, he may have been playing. I think he was at least turned way down. But you know what? This was, I think, his best song, his best performance. I enjoyed this more than his previous ones, like I said.
Yes, it felt more full.
Yeah, maybe just round it out. He had his live band on the stage with him. That's always good to see.
Yes.
Howie said, I know more about the Jews than the blues, but it felt so authentic and so real. Girls didn't get any comments tonight, Juliana or Gabrielle. Simon said, the song without the band could have made a much better connection, which we just said we disagree with. And then Sean said, I would give anything to be half as cool and hip as you. So,
yeah, he'd like to see him in a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, I don't, I'm not sure what the future would hold for him. I'm not sure where he would land, but he's fun to watch. He can play the local clubs. He can do the coffee shop tour, and he's terribly likable, right? No need to pretend to play the guitar unless having the prop on stage helps sort of center you and give you. As a performance piece rather than as a musical piece. Use it as a prop. That's fine.
Yeah, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe just the way he was holding it and the way he was strumming was just old school strumming. But he didn't have a pick.
It did look like he legitimately knew what to do with his left hand on the fretboard. Like he was
right.
He was not pretending to play the guitar. He was actually playing the guitar, just not as the primary guitar player that we were listening to.
Yes. So, because I was trying to pay attention because the left hand, I was thinking, okay, maybe he's just kind of holding it. No, he was moving the left hand and the fingers as well. So you're right. Maybe he was actually playing, but it wasn't coming through. Maybe they did a pre-record. And they were playing that, and then he was just playing along.
There you go.
So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I love Robert Finley. I love that they had a full band. I disagree with Simon. anytime you can have a full band up on stage increases the enjoyment of the performance.
Yeah. Unless it's particularly poorly mixed or there's some sort of issue, but
there's that.
Yeah,
but,
I had no issues like Simon did on this one. So
yeah.
All right. Next act of the night, we got a young Asian magician named Eric Chen. Boy, do you want to walk through his act? The judges seemed thoroughly confused with his act.
Yeah, and I can kind of shed a little light on this. I did a little reading up on this today.
Okay.
So I can kind of shed a little bit of light on it.
Should we talk about what he did first and then...
Yeah. So last week, Simon said that he needed to do like a big performance, a big magic trick.
Okay.
Well, he goes back to his little table and does more card tricks.
On a map of the world.
On a map of the world, right. So he had blank card tricks, and then all of a sudden, and he had a globe sitting on the table as well, and he kind of picked at the globe a little bit and put it down on his cards, and all of a sudden on all these cards were monuments of the world: Eiffel Tower, Statue of Liberty, whatever.
Yep. And
then he just, for some reason, just took the cards out of the deck and we're just laying them down on the map, and I'm like, wow, he knows his geography. That's really good.
Yep.
And then at the very end of the act, the camera kind of pans up and then pans down, and then there's a 3D images of the monuments on the map.
A 3D Eiffel Tower, 3D Mount Rushmore, 3D Taj Mahal. Yep. All those things showed up on the map.
Oh, one thing I skipped over. We had a Mount Rushmore with the judges' faces on them.
That's true, yes. And then he wiped his hand over it and they disappeared somehow. He did turn which card was it? It was the Statue of Liberty. When the camera panned up, he turned the Statue of Liberty from the card into the 3D model of it, and then when it panned back down, they had all turned. So judges, like we said, were very confused about the act. They didn't get it. They couldn't see him on the stage because of the cameras, so they were watching on the screen up above. I felt like, as a rule, he had this theme of, monuments around the world, this geography, and he told a very nice story from beginning to end. So I don't know where their confusion came from. It made a lot more sense to me than Greg Morton did earlier with his cartoon voices.
Well, what made sense about it? Because I was confused as well, and watching at home. So what made sense to you?
It was about geography and about monuments around the world. Yeah.
Okay. So what was the magic trick?
He made pictures appear on the cards. He made a picture move from the card into a 3D object. He made the 3D objects appear at the end of the act, the big reveal.
Okay. So you want me to kind of explain what I've read here?
Please.
I'm going to try not to reveal the trick.
Okay.
But I'm going to kind of read what some people were explaining what happened here is that and there was an actual person there in the audience as well that kind of helped explain this.
Okay.
Yes, there are a bunch of cameras down in front of the judges, and he's up there on stage with his little table, and the judges are watching on the screen, and I think watching at home, so we were kind of getting the same perspective that the judges were watching on these monitors.
Yep.
And people sitting down in I guess it's the orchestra, it's in a concert hall, down on the floor, kind of had the same perspective as the judges, but people up in the balconies could see Eric Chen better without watching on the monitors.
Okay.
So, if we are to watch this trick on a television set or a monitor of some screen of some sort, where the camera can pan up away from the table, then that loses something in the trick.
Absolutely.
So we're used to watching tricks where kind of everything is exposed. Last time we had Julianne sitting up on the on the stage with him there next to the table. Everything was exposed. You could see everything that was going on.
All the M&Ms and Rubik's Cubes.
All the M&Ms, the Rubik's Cubes, all that stuff. This time it was, hey, you only got the trick if you were watching it on a monitor. if you were watching it from the balcony, you actually saw how the trick was done.
Okay.
So I think that's where the confusion was, is that in previous episodes they were able to see everything. They knew what was happening. It was more amazing. But here, because you had basically production and TV tricks, quote, TV tricks.
Okay.
It lost something in the trick.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, his big reveal, like, definitely kind of fell flat at the end there.
Yeah.
No big surprise of that. Yeah, I don't know. Not great comments from the judges. Howie said, size doesn't matter. You're one of the best close-up magicians I've seen in my life. Love how you also seem confused, too. Gabrielle said the other magicians call you one of the best in the world, so I'll lean on their opinions. Julianne said, what you do is so specific, but I have to process what happened. I guess she was the first comments, and she was having trouble coming up with much good to say.
Yeah, she was the first one. She said, can you go to someone else while I process this?
Right.
They went to Simon.
Simon said, your definition of big and mine are different, and I don't have a clue what was going on. So, I don't know. I don't know what was so hard to understand. It made sense. It made a logical sense from start to finish. The big reveal was weird. I'll give him that. But, if you make it through, don't do anything different. Keep doing this close-up magic. You're great at it. Like we said last time with the Rubik's Cubes, there's no room for mistakes, for flubs. You have to be perfect. But he has the potential to be very, very great.
Yeah, the thing is, for me, it didn't feel like a big reveal. It was, hey, the camera panned up, it panned down. Oh, there's a map with 3D monuments on there. It didn't feel like a big reveal.
But where did they come from? It's the, the Arrested Development when lighter fluid shoots out of his sleeve, right? Like, right, but where did the lighter fluid come from, right? It's yeah. So I don't know. I didn't hate it. I like it.
Yeah. This one, and they're going off, or they're saying how great he is based on, hey, everyone is saying that you're one of the best magicians, but I didn't see it that night. I mean, it felt really flat.
Yeah, it did feel pretty flat. Okay. So. Next act of the night, we get to talk some more copyright law.
Yeah.
We've got Light Balance Kids doing a Marvel superhero theme.
Yeah, they basically did the Avengers, like all of the Avengers.
Yeah, okay. You're higher on them than I am. What'd you think of Light Balance Kids?
Okay, I'm higher on them than you are?
Yes, I think so.
You must be really low. Because I didn't know I was that much higher.
Okay.
I'm higher not on the kids. I'm higher on the computer generated graphics.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's what I'm.
In case you've forgotten, the Light Balance Kids, they're like Light Balance, but kids.
With kids.
Okay.
Yes. Right. And there was a comment later on as well that and we'll talk about it. But anyway, in this performance they did basically an Avengers movie. They had Doctor Strange and Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and the Hulk, and they fought crime.
Okay.
So they danced, and it looked spectacular. I mean, the graphics, everything looked great. Dancing, I mean, it's dancing that we've seen out of Light Balance. I still can't tell the difference if the kids didn't take their helmets off at the end. I wouldn't know if it was the kids or if it was the adults.
Yeah. Light Balance didn't win the competition. I don't think that Light Balance Kids should have a chance. But, I don't know. I think we've talked about before how, like, I've been sort of afraid to get into the whole, like, Marvel universe because, like, if I watch one, I'm going to want to watch all 30 movies, and I just don't have the capacity for that right now. I'm hardly have the capacity to watch 2 hours, 3 hours of this every week. So I'm about at the end of my rope here, but
off season podcast.
Yeah, not this year. Talk to me in 2021, but
yeah. One of my big, I'm going to cut you off. Sorry about that, Jay. One of my big pet peeves they did, or one of our big pet peeves they did in this, crane shot while they were performing, and then they did a crowd shot while they were performing.
Definitely, yes. Yeah, the big crane shot definitely like pulled me out of the, watching this on my screen and sort of appreciating that. So definitely had an issue with that. I don't know. Julianne said, I've enjoyed previous rounds better. You were stepping into something that was already a brand, but you guys can be your own brand. Gabrielle said, you come out with so much energy, so much imagination. We enjoy the whole thing. Simon said that was a performance that will get you into the final based on your hard work, imagination, and creativity. Sean said, I'm blown away by the choreography, blown away by the creativity. And Howie said, I agree with everything. There isn't another act that I could see in Vegas like you guys. And he was ready to put his money down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go back there for a
Clear
moment.
that up.
Julianne said, let's see, you stepped into something that was already a brand. You need your own brand. Okay. First off, I thought she was talking about, hey, there's already a light balance. That's what I thought she was talking about. I thought she was thinking, hey, there's already a light balance. Light balance kids, you need to do your own thing. There's already a light balance. But then I realized, no, she's talking about Marvel. You guys did a Marvel thing, but you're light balance kids. You need to have this light balance kids brand.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah. And then, what was it? You just read it a moment ago.
You said there isn't another act that I could see in Vegas.
Yes, there's another act you can see in Vegas. It's called Light Balance. You can see Light Balance in Vegas.
Oh, they are in Vegas?
I don't know. They might be in Vegas.
Okay,
I'm sure they are. But what I mean is, there's already a parent act
right
that does this. That's actually better than this because the dancing is better than this.
Right. Yeah.
So
they're actually professionals. Yeah.
Yes. I just thought it was interesting. I know they didn't mean to make the comments that way, but the way that they said the comments was like they were knocking at them like, dude, there's already light balance. Why do we need light balance kids?
That's funny. That's what you heard.
I'm sorry, light balance kids. I know I love light balance OG. I think they're one of the best acts ever on America's Got Talent.
Well, if you like light balance, you'll like light balance kids.
No, I won't. No, I won't. But what I'm getting at is that why can't the kids just perform with the adults? I don't know what.
I see no discernible difference between the two.
Yeah.
I really don't. So, if you like light balance, you'll like light balance kids. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah. So when light balance is performing, do they say, hey, light balance, but also with light balance or with light balance kids or light balance kids presenting light balance? I mean, why can't they just make it one big act? I don't know why we have to go through this again.
Because if it's one big act, they don't get to put light balance kids on America's Got Talent.
I guess. I can't believe that AGT is allowed. I mean, AGT allows a lot of stuff. I can't believe that they're actually allowing this.
There was an act, and I didn't look them up, and I should have. They were like a salsa act, a big group of adults that did this salsa dance all together.
Yes, yes.
The next year or 2 years later, it was the same thing, but with kids.
Yes, I remember that. Yes,
and
I loved the original salsa group.
Right, but you know what? If the original salsa group isn't good enough to win, why are we trying again with children?
Yes. Now the difference. There's not a whole lot of difference between Light Balance OG and Light Balance Kids, other than the kids. The graphics can be applied the same whether it's the kids or the adults.
Right. We could do Light Balance Iowa, and I could put the same thing on the stage if you gave me the technology.
Yes. So I'm sorry, Light Balance Kids. I mean, your kids. We don't want to make fun of kids, but
you think they're pretty good for their age?
I love Light Balance so much that I just want to see. I want to see the kids perform with the adults. So,
yeah. All right.
I love the computer graphics. I'm going to say that. That's my favorite part. And that's part of the performance is the computer graphics, not just the kids dancing. So
sure. So they have to put somebody in the costumes. So
I guess.
All right. Okay. Last act of the night is Benicio Benny Bryant. He is going to give us an original song. What did you What'd you think of Benicio?
I liked his intro where they talked about he would just sing into everything. A toothbrush.
Oh, yeah. Some really cute videos of him as a kid.
Yeah.
Singing into his toothbrush, keeping the beat with his toothbrush. Like it seemed like he was always tapping on things, always making music. Yeah, pretty cute.
Yeah. I first wrote down that I couldn't find this song, well, because it was an original.
Right.
And I didn't realize that till later on. I don't know if they said that. I may have totally missed it.
I think you missed that. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was. I don't think it was as good as his original he did last week, but I still kind of like this. I mean, I think one of the things we've said about Benny Bryant is that, and we just talked about this with Robert Finley, is put a band up on stage. Mackenzie got sent home because it was just him up there singing. I want more from these singers than just standing up there and singing. It's great that he can write his own songs. The songs are pretty good.
I felt like the quality of this song was better than... I could imagine turning on the radio and hearing the song and being like, oh, that totally belongs on FM radio. Like, it does not sound like an amateur song.
No, I think both of his songs have sounded that way. I think that's one of the great things he's done is he's written his own songs, and the songs have actually been pretty good. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. All right.
I kind of just lost my thought.
No, that's all right. He was wearing a really cool like flame sweater.
Yeah.
Did you make note of his outfit?
I didn't make note. I mean, I kind of mentally made a note of it. I was like, hey, I think I wore that back in the 80s.
I loved the sweater. It was like a red sort of flame that goes up into a yellow, like a sort of an like 8-bit sort of look to it. Blue on the top, but he had it tucked into his pants with his belt and his gray pants. I didn't loved the sweater tucked in look, but I loved the sweater.
Yeah, I've never seen that fashion even from older men wearing jeans.
I've seen a couple old men tuck their
tuck their sweater in.
I had a PE coach that would tuck his sweater into his coach's shorts in high school.
Into his coach's shorts.
Yes. Yeah.
I wish I could see that.
Yep.
I also noted. Did it seem like his voice is getting deeper?
I didn't make a note of that.
Okay.
Between his audition could have been as 6-12 months ago even. So it's possible that his voice has changed since then. Certainly. Yeah.
He said this is his first year. He actually just started high school. So I mean, I didn't even notice it from last week. I don't remember my voice changing that quickly, but just seemed like from last week his voice seemed a little bit deeper. Maybe he was just singing a different key.
Yeah, could have been a different key. I don't know. Howie said, I gave you a hard time. I said, don't do an original song, but you did, and you did great with it. Gabrielle said, 2 original hit songs in 2 weeks. Julianne said, the lyrics are poignant. Simon said, it's pretty outstanding. We saw you for what you are, smart choice and great taste. Sean said, I'm obsessed with you. So pretty high praise from the judges. Way to round out the night. What any last thoughts on Benny?
No. We'll kind of get into the results here in a moment.
Okay, I did make a note of this, and it made me giggle to myself. But as Terry Crews was like signing out for the night, he said, 5 of the 11 acts are going to go to the finals. The stakes cannot be higher. It's like, well, I think that the finals, the stakes will be higher. But
yeah, I think they will be a little bit higher there, Terry.
But it's. They love their superlatives on America's Got Talent. Yeah. So
Terry can only say what's on his teleprompter. So
okay, well, America's got superlatives.
Unlike Greg Morton. Unlike Greg Morton, he has a writer.
He has okay, all right. Yeah. That was a thing that made me chuckle to myself. So, you ready to talk results quick?
Yeah. Did you watch results this time?
I buzzed through it. I didn't make comment of any of the business going on behind the scenes, other than we got to see my good friend ventriloquist.
Yes.
Her name's escaping me. Oh my gosh, Darcy Lynn Farmer. Thank you. I got it. Cute old Darcy Lynn, still doing great. And I'll say this about her before we even jump into it. Like, she is so technically perfect. Like,
Yes.
she is just her ability as a ventriloquist is just top notch. I've not seen better.
Yeah, she's going to go far in this career.
She already has.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. All right. So, any other, like, do you want to talk about the whole production other than just sort of jumping into results, or did you have more to say about that?
No, I mean, it was fun kind of seeing, they did a little thing with Darcy Lynn and Preacher where they kept treating Darcy Lynn like the star that she is, and Preacher as the second-rate comedian that he is not. So it's kind of funny, Preacher in almost every performance he does, and he even did it in this performance, talks about coming in second to Darcy Lynn, and still even losing to her in Champions, even though she didn't win in Champions.
Right.
Still finishing behind her in Champions. That these two are kind of, I mean, they're always going to be known for each other. Wherever you go, whenever you talk to Preacher, and I don't think he actually is tired of hearing about it because he's making his career off of talking about it.
Yeah, as a comedian, it works out just fine for him. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. In any performance he does, I think he talks about it at the beginning. Even when I went and saw him, he talks about it at the beginning, and then he moves on to the rest of his stuff. Yeah. So he kind of gets it out of the way. He makes jokes about it. Everyone loves it. Now, can he sustain that he's been doing that for 2 years now. How long can that sustain? But
as long as Darcy Lynn is a known commodity, ride that wave. Yeah. And
I guess so. 'Cause,
people love self-deprecating humor.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when, in this episode, they took it to level 11.
Yeah.
So they're milking that for all they can.
Yep.
So.
No, he I thought that his that little video, I mostly buzzed through that video, but I got the gist of it. It was kind of a cute idea that maybe went a little bit long. His set was good. But I definitely slowed it down and watched Darcy Lynn do her thing, work her magic.
Now, I didn't take note of his, but I wrote down her performance time.
What was her performance time?
2:49.
Right where it should be. Yep.
Right where it should be. Now, one other thing that we got a little thing from John Dornbos as well.
Yeah, he did a little magic on the at a spring training for, was it the Colts?
It was for the Rams.
The Rams, okay.
Yeah, because they're in L.A.
All right.
So Thursday night football starts up tonight. We're doing this Thursday night. NBC, Thursday night football, Bears and Packers. So John Dornbos goes out to the LA Rams preseason training camp, does little card tricks with them. So that was kind of fun to watch.
Yep, he's super engaging, super likable guy. Absolutely.
So that's all kind of the non-result stuff. So we can just fly through the results now.
Okay. All right. Well, first they tell us that 3 acts are going to go through. 3 acts are going to make up the what do they call them? The
Duncan
save, sure. And then there's going to be 2 acts, or what's that leave? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 acts are going to be eliminated. So. 5 eliminated, 3 are going to the Duncan save, 3 are going through. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
2 of the 3 are going to be saved. All right. So they jump into results. They're going to give us Cody Lee and Greg Morton. Nobody.
Did you want to talk about who's in the Duncan save real quick?
Yeah. I did want to. We had Light Balance Kids, Undlovu Youth Choir, and Robert Finley. So a whole bunch of children and a older gentleman.
Yeah.
How old is he? 70 something?
I think so. I think something in that age. So it's 2 different ends of the spectrum here.
I've got it written down here somewhere. Let me pull it up here. Robert Finley is 65.
Okay.
He's not as old as I thought he was.
Yeah.
He plays an old soul. All right.
Kind of some information real quick from the Duncan save. So early results had Light Balance Kids at 40%, Ndlovu at 22%, and Robert Finley at 38%.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Robert was right up there.
Yeah, from the time that they announced the Duncan saves to the time they got the first results, 35 seconds.
Okay.
So in 35 seconds, people logged on and were able to vote.
That's quick.
That's incredible.
So let's just pick that apart now. What of those three, Light Balance Kids, Ndlovu Youth Choir, and Robert Finley, how did you think that was going to go down?
I thought it was going to be Light Balance and Ndlovu Youth Choir. I thought Light Balance was going to I thought Light Balance was going to go through on the America's Vote.
Yep.
And then, Ndlovu could have been close back behind there, but I don't think people would have voted for Robert Finley. I actually thought those numbers would be reversed. I'm surprised that he had that many.
Right.
But I definitely thought people want to vote for Light Balance Kids because they like Light Balance and they like kids.
So if you like Light Balance,
yes.
you're gonna like Light Balance Kids.
And if you like kids, so
yeah, all right. That's kind of what I expected too. Was Light Balance would be our one going through, and I would expect the judges to pick Ndlovu Youth Choir.
Yep.
Okay, but our first actual result of the night then is Cody Lee and Greg Morton. So we've got our singer and our impressionist, and then I think nobody is surprised, including Greg Morton, when they tell us that Cody Lee's going into the finals.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah. So that was that. All right, moving on. We've got Benicio Bryant, Eric Chen, and Ansley Burns.
Yeah, now this one could have gone anyway. I mean, I had Benicio Bryant as, when they're announcing these, I kind of go ahead and highlight the ones I think are going to go through. I'd highlighted Benicio Bryant. It could have been Ansley Burns for some reason. I think Eric Chen just had too many issues. Too many people were confused to vote him through.
Yeah, it's too bad Eric Chen didn't get any help from the judges on his on their comments of him. Ansley, she has already been knocked out and brought back. So of the three, I was thinking Benny or possibly this is one of those. I'm sorry, it's none of you.
Oh yeah.
But they gave it to Benicio. He's going through the finals.
Yeah, part of Ansley's package was her talking about in auditions, Simon stopped her and made her redo it. In judge cut, Simon stopped her and made her redo it. In quarterfinals, she was eliminated and brought back. So all these redemption stories that she had was kind of her platform.
Maybe what she needed was for Simon to interrupt her and say, Ansley, start over. Let's reset and you can sing your Carrie Underwood song again, but let's start over. Maybe that's what she needed.
Come out of the wheat field.
Step out of the wheat field.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what we had. All right. Next result here. We've got another three. We've got Massaudi Brothers, Tyler Butler Figueroa, and Jackie Fabulous. What did you think was going to happen here?
Well, I wasn't doing my math very well, and I thought two were going to go through on this one.
Okay.
And then I was real disappointed when I found out only one was going through on this one, and even more disappointed when I found out which one it was.
Oh, right.
Because I was for sure that when they brought the three of them up and it was going to be two of them, I was for sure it was going to be the Massaudi Brothers and Jackie Fabulous.
Yeah, I really thought it would be Massaudi Brothers myself. I don't know. We've hashed it out. I wasn't that impressed with Tyler Butler Figueroa or Jackie Fabulous, so I was fully expecting Massaudi Brothers, fully wanting them at least to go through. But they gave us Tyler Butler Figueroa.
Yeah, I think the Massaudi Brothers got robbed.
Robbed even.
I think not enough middle-aged women voted.
Yeah, if that's the kind of thing you like to look at, man, they've got it in spades, don't they?
Yes, they do. So,
yeah, man, they are. I am not built like them. It's.
I don't have a house built.
Okay, all right. Well, ready for the results then from the Duncan save?
Yes.
America picks. Wait for it. Terry Crews, wait
Light
for
balance.
it. Okay, all
Light
right.
balance.
It was
but with kids.
Oh yeah, it's Light Balance Kids.
Yes.
Man, does it bother you how long Terry waits between the act going through is?
Yeah, a little bit, because that's time that they could be
Light
saving
balance
at
kids!
Yeah, they could just say the act going through is light balance kids. I know they're trying to add that drama. They're trying to add the suspense a little bit.
It's
I
just
get it.
like they could cut that in half and build all the suspense they need.
Yeah, and still have some left over at the very end when Simon or Howie can't decide which act they want to put through.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so Light Balance Kids is America's pick. That means Undlovu Youth Choir and Robert Finley are the two acts that the judges need to pick. First, we go to Gabrielle. She says, after talking for a little bit,
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't need comments.
Right.
Just give me your answer.
Undlovu Youth Choir. They have to compliment both of the acts before they pick one of them. Right? The stakes couldn't be higher, Cody.
Yeah, you had 5
The
minutes
stakes
during
couldn't
commercial
be higher.
break to figure this out.
So that's one for Undlovu Youth Choir. Next to go to Julianne. She gives us the same Undlovu Youth Choir. Jump over to Howie. He says, I'm going to go to Robert Finley, which means that we're either going to go to a tie and it's going to be America's vote, which according to the early numbers we saw, we're thinking it might be Robert Finley, or Simon's going to pick Undlovu Youth Choir, and he picks, with just seconds to spare, Undlovu Youth Choir.
Yeah,
So that
you
means
mentioned
they're going through to finals.
You mentioned the early tabulation just now, that it would be interesting if the judges actually looked at that and be like, hey, America wants this other act to go through. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Their jobs of winnowing down all the contestants, is kind of over after judge cuts. We have to have some reason to have them around, or do we? Maybe we don't. I don't know. Other than just getting their professional comments.
I was about to say, can we just get rid of judges altogether for live shows and just
it'd give us a lot more Terry Crews on our screen.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, so there you have it. Going through to finals from this episode: Cody Lee, Benicio Bryant, Tyler Butler Figueroa, Light Balance Kids, Undlovu Youth Choir.
Yeah, I feel Masaudi got robbed in this one. I think Greg Morton could have been a little bit better in this one. Jackie Fabulous could have been a little bit better. It seemed like a weak night though. It was a night that wasn't very strong. I think next week is going to be much stronger, much harder to come out of.
Yeah, I think I agree. The acts coming up next week, I've got Alex Dowis, our light painter, Chris Clafford, Dom Chambers, our Australian magician, Iman Beisha, the opera singer, Luke Islam, the Broadway singer, Marcin, the guitarist, Ryan Niemiller, the comedian, Detroit Youth Choir, The Unbeatable Dance Crew, and Voices of Service. My top picks here, we've got Voices of Service, The Unbeatable, Ryan Niemiller, Marcin, Dom Chambers, Alex Dowis. I don't even have room for all my favorites to go through on the next episode.
Yeah, and only 5 can go through, which is incredible.
Yeah. So should be a great episode next week, which leads us into the finals here in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, that's right. We're almost there. Seemed like we just started auditions, Jay.
Does it? It's been a lot of episodes. It's been a lot of hours.
Yeah.
But no, it's, what, we're having fun with it. I see a light at the end of this tunnel. Going to clear up some hours for me to study some microbiology and some thanatology and some embalming and all sorts of good business ahead of me here.
See, listeners, he says he hasn't had time to talk about Marvel stuff or watch Marvel movies, but he's studying Thanos.
No,
he's trying to get his Infinity Stones.
Right. See, that joke should be just right over my head. All right. Well, with that, I'm looking forward to next week. Looking forward to the next 2 weeks, honestly. I don't want this to go too fast, but it's going to be a great episode next week. And we'll see what the contestants bring us, what we can look forward to in the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Until then, everybody have a great week. Be safe out there, and give us a comment on our Facebook page or something, huh?
That's right.
All right.
Y'all have a good night.
Bye.